The fear that you suffer from being in combat is nothing like the movies.
I needed to do something in my life, and becoming a Marine changed my life.
My name is Nanci Nigro. I'm a photography teacher here at Oceanside High School. Today we had a veterans art project where we asked 12 veterans to come in and speak one-on-one with 12 art students. They were here to tell their story, share their experiences. They shared some memorabilia.
Bob Jacoby. My rank was Sergeant First Class, U.S. Army.
Nat Musso, U.S. Navy.
I was a sergeant.
U.S. Army, 3rd Infantry Division.
Oh, I was sergeant, and I was active from 1965 to 1969.
I served in the United States Army.
My name is Peter Engel. I flew with the President of the United States, and I flew in Quantico, Virginia, and HMX was the name of the squadron.
When I graduated high school, they started the Korean War, but I was only 17, and I know my mother would have killed my father if he let me go in the service then.
When I was in high school, I was a bad student. A lot of my friends went away to college and places like that, and I realized I made a mistake in life, and I decided to change my life and join the Air Force, which I always wanted to do, and get an education.
Very immature, I was 20 years old, I was married, and I was so influenced by the World War II war movies. I thought it was going to be so glamorous.
I was drafted. My mother wouldn't let me volunteer. She says, when they want you, they'll call you. So they called me, and I went in February 1943.
Do you have any particular memory you'd like to share?
Well, I did earn the Bronze Star Medal for bravery. The incident I think that it was we were on the island of Mindoro in the Philippines, and another fellow, myself, had gone back for ammunition. And when we came back, we heard firing in the distance where we knew our unit was. And what happened is that the group of Japanese had come up behind our forces and were shooting at our men. So we opened up, on them with everything that we had, killed a bunch of them, and the others ran off.
I transferred to the military police, and then because of my scores and in the military, and Fort Devens was Army Security Agency school, they said, how would you like to go to the Army Security Agency school? So I transferred over to the Army Security Agency. Then they sent me to Nuremberg, Germany, and that's where I was for almost 3 years.
The winter that I was there in 1951 was one of the coldest in the history of South Korea. So if you speak to any combat Korean War veteran of that period of time and ask them the question you just asked me, what we remember most is the cold.
When I flew with Lyndon B. Johnson, he was always in the front of the plane, so we really never saw him that much. But the first time I saw him was when I was in training, and I think this is a funny story. I was standing on where the Rose Garden is, and the orders were, you never talk to the president unless he talks to you, or look at him. This particular day, I heard the door open, and I knew it was him behind me, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Good morning, son." And I went like this. And he must have thought I was a nut, because he just kind of smiled and walked away.
What was it like to ride in the helicopter with Lyndon B. Johnson?
Well, I rode in his chase plane. My friend Danny Mirabelli rode with him. I had a secret clearance, but not a top secret.
We were a defensive group of about 230 soldiers. We were in an open field, desolate, no towns, no electricity, no light, and living in a foxhole in the ground. During the day, it never got above 15 degrees. At night, it was usually 0 degrees. We were ill-equipped clothing-wise. We had more casualties from frostbite than we did from gunshot. My best friend in life, Pat Lanza, and I sat in a hole throughout the night, and the fear was so strong that we held hands all night. It sounds funny, but the security that it offered by knowing that there was another human being next to me. I don't really know if I would have mentally survived the evenings there.
What piece of advice would you give to students in Oceanside?
Stop and think what you'd like to do for your future.
Education first. It's a door opener.
Get involved in your country's governing. War is something that you should never go through. You should never have to fear battle.
I think a big part of the concept behind this was for our young kids to interact with an older generation and to learn and grow from what they've experienced in their past.